True to his word, Ernest escorts Arabella and I home, though none of us seem overly concerned with our surroundings. Instead, our enthusiastic chatter has remained on the upcoming event that evening. The officers are beyond excited to attend such a private gathering. It seems to be the talk of the town. I'm not sure Mr. Amesbury would care to know he's delighted society so much. Yes, he certainly delighted some of us most heartily. From what I've heard, it would seem a few people have gained a peek inside, the Amesbury residence. Even fewer have met the heir to the Amesbury name himself. A sudden flurry of shadow makes us halt in our steps. I hear Arabella gasp loudly as she stumbles aside, a dark figure stepping between us. Oh no, it's the Swindler! Good evening, ladies. Colonel Foxley. How dare you address me, sir? You would prefer I ignored you? The man's joking only makes Ernest clench his fists in anger. He simply shrugs off the Colonel's fuming and turns to face me. And, for the first time, I truly look at him closely. I hate to give in to such thoughts, but since my time with Mr. Amesbury earlier, I just cannot help but wonder. We meet again, my lady. Once again, we meet. You presume too much to think you can harass these ladies so frequently without consequence. The Swindler glances over his shoulder at Ernest, blocking my attempts to see through the shadow to his face. Harass? I would never do such a thing. I'm merely eager to know they are safe on the streets. But that safety comes at a price, does it not? He returns his focus to me, and once again I attempt to see through the dark shadow of his hat in the night. You're most correct. My time is precious, and I do require payment for it. And as I've said, you are my favorite patron. Foxley makes a step forward, obviously not liking being blocked from me by the Swindler. But I glance at him and shake my head. I'm surprised when he stays in place, apparently understanding my request. I just need to get close enough. A mask cannot hide everything, especially as I've grown to know Mr. Amesbury so well over these weeks. If it is even him at all. I take a step towards him, noticing his smile falter as I do so. What would you steal from me this time, sir? Even in the shadow, I can see his full lips quirk into a long smile. I am most pleased you asked, my lady. He steps closer, and I take a deep breath to keep my resolve. I would have a kiss. Oh, how dare you! You disgust! As the Colonel stumbles on the insults of what seems to be both anger and embarrassment, I try to stem my shock. Arabella does not struggle with a retort. Catherine, I will not have you pawed over by that brute! The Swindler seems to be barely paying attention to the others, and I find myself hardly hearing them either as he gazes down at me intently. I realize, then, that this is the perfect moment to find out the truth once and for all. I agree. I agree. I must say I'm somewhat surprised, if a little disheartened at the sensibility and the tone of your response. Would you prefer I did not agree at all? He says nothing, only gazes at me once again. I glance behind him to see Arabella and Ernest seething with anger. You know, I don't think that was a good option. I should have picked. Your request does not shock me as much as you hope. If you'd hoped to shock me with such a request, you'll be sorely disappointed. Indeed, it seems to have fazed you little, and yet it has worked wonders on your friends. I glance behind him to see Arabella and Ernest seething with anger. I offer them a gentle smile. I'll be fine, I can handle myself better than most. But Catherine, please Arabella. She gives a resigned nod before turning to push Ernest back a little, obviously hoping to stop him before he does something reckless. You worry too much for your old friends. That surprises you. Not in the slightest. Now then, if you don't mind, I would ask for my payment. I swallow hard, the thundering of my heart due once again to the excitement he always manages to pull for me. Looking down, I yank off one of my gloves and offer my hand forward for him to place the kiss upon. A deep chuckle echoes from him. He takes my fingers gently in his grasp. Oh, my lady. I gasp as he yanks me forward, almost crashing into his chest. I asked for a kiss, not a formality. He holds me against him firmly, but loose enough I realize I could leave if I wished. The oil lamp flickers behind us, and now, finally being so close, I can see his face partially illuminated. My eyes widen in true recognition of the warm brown eyes that stare back at me. Mr. Amesbury is the Society Swindler! I knew it! The realization makes my mind dizzy, and I'm only brought back to my thoughts as his hand spreads across the small of my back. I can feel the heat of his touch through my cape, as though it were against bare skin. His gaze catches mine, seeming to wait for permission. I flutter my eyes shut in response in anticipation. Oh, they kissed! Oh! His lips meet mine only moments later. Warm. Moments later? Oh, I think it should be moments later, not moment laters. Oh, come on! Why are we having a typo during the big kiss scene? Oh, come on, game, you're killing me! Okay, his lips meet mine. They're warm and gentle. His arms tighten about me as our lips dance over each other's in a rhythm we both match. My fingers grasp at his shoulders, not wanting this to end. His kiss deepens in response, one hand cupping my face and the other pressing me further against him. He is certainly a thief, having stolen away any rational thought I may have had left. When we finally part, I'm thankful his arms are about me to keep me upright, or I fear my knees should have buckled. I blink my eyes open, once again meeting the familiar gaze of Mr. Amesbury, half hidden by the mask. For a moment longer, all we seem to be able to do is gaze at each other. I'm so breathless, my thoughts and words trapped by his touch. Whatever he hoped to say through heavy breaths is interrupted by the sound of footsteps. You've had your fun, now leave. There's a serious threat in the Colonel's words I've not heard before, and Amesbury seems to sense it too. He lets me go, and I feel suddenly a little cold as he moves away. With the tip of his hat, he gives a final grin and sprints down a side alleyway. I stare after him, my hands gripping the hem of my cape to keep my fingers stilled. I do not think anyone but us saw. Let's get you home, Catherine. A pang of guilt shoots through me in response to their concern, knowing I was in no danger. I simply remain silent, still unable to voice much at all, as excitement and confusion still courses through every fiber of my being. At home, I rush to get myself ready for the evening's gathering. Oh my goodness, I just kissed Mr. Amesbury, and he's the Society Swindler. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how I can handle this. It's made somewhat more difficult with my head full of the newfound knowledge of Mr. Amesbury's nighttime excursions. I sit at my dresser, staring at myself in the mirror. How could I have not seen it before? I shake my head at my own ignorance. I raise my hand to my lips, still tingling with the memory of his kiss. I'm interrupted from my intimate thoughts by the door opening. Arabella! Is everything all right? I should be asking you the very same question. She walks further into the room, resting a hip on the edge of my dresser. I frown at her as she seems to stumble on her words, something I've rarely seen from her. Should I be concerned for you, Catherine? Concerned? When he kissed you... Well, let's just say I know when a woman is happy to be kissed or not. And you looked far from distressed. I understand your feelings are your own, and having a man such as he pay attention to you is rather exciting, but I have to give my word of caution as your closest friend. These kinds of infatuations can lead to terrible outcomes. She does not hide how truly concerned she is, and I glance at my lap, part in shame for knowing the truth about it all and not speaking of it. I have to tell you, there's something you have to know. I can't keep the truth from you, not my best friend. You're as close to me as a sister. There's something you must know, Arabella. I stand from my place, taking my hand and leading her over to the bed. We both sit on the edge, and she stares at me expectantly. After a deep breath, I tell her the truth about how Amesbury is the swindler. Her reaction is not quite as shocked as I had expected. I suppose we should have seen it sooner. His mannerisms are very alike, and of course his keen interest in singling you out from the start. Oh yes, how obvious it's been. She gives a laugh, one I cannot help but join in with. But how bold he's been. There certainly can be no doubt in his affections towards you. So tell me, how was the kiss? Thankfully, before I have to answer, a maid walks in to inform us the carriage is ready. Well, tonight should be interesting. Even more interesting now. Oh, it's already the most interesting night of my life! Oh.